Welcome to the University of Cambridge Online's webinar on managing software architecture. Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming today and taking the time to attend this session. This webinar is designed for you and how this course can help you building the skills and building your team. Today, we have gathered professionals interested in managing software architecture from all over the world, so thank you all for attending. Before we begin, just a couple of quick housekeeping points. The session will run for around 45 minutes, including time for Q&A at the end. So please feel free to use the Q&A function throughout the session. We're recording the session, so we will share the recording and slides with you afterwards. And finally, please do stay with us until the end. We'll be sharing some exciting offerings and discounts. At the end of the webinar, please take a couple of moments to complete a short survey where you can raise any further questions or feedback. We would like you to leave here today informed, excited, and with complete insight into what your MSA learning experience will be. So these are the agenda points for today. Introduce you to the Cambridge Technology Suite, overview of the course outcomes, how this course can contribute to your organization, hear from our course alumni, how to enroll, and answer any questions you may have. Now I would like to introduce you to today's panelists. First of all is Dr. Jasmin Jahić, our academic lead for the course Managing Software Architecture. We're also joined today by Stuart Utley, our learning designer at the University of Cambridge Online, and myself, Awadua Gunderson, Senior Business Development Manager. So the University of Cambridge Online is a new department under the umbrella of the University of Cambridge. We create high-impact online courses that respond to the challenges facing today's professionals, teams, and institutions. As part of the wider university, we benefit from access to world-leading research and faculty. We draw on the fact that we are #1 in research and in business impact, in global innovation, and in enterprise. And everything we do is designed with flexibility, accessibility, and professional application in mind. Within our Cambridge Centers of Excellence, we focus on 4 big themes, which we often call our impact economies. So we focus on sustainability, environment, and policy. We focus on technology and data, business and entrepreneurship, healthcare, and life sciences. These are areas where the University of Cambridge has global recognition, both academically and through applied research as well. There are also areas where we see significant demand for upskilling and strategic investment across sectors. In terms of sustainability, for example, we draw on our 13 centers of excellence in sustainability, including CISL. Within technology and data, we host the world's largest AI machine and provide leading education in AI and in big data. In business, we have 10 specialized centers, including the Judge Business School, Cambridge Enterprise, and the Institute of Manufacturing. One of the things that makes the University of Cambridge Online quite unique is how we bring together different departments across the university to build each course. So rather than working only with the business school, for example, or just the Faculty of Engineering, we draw from across disciplines to create learning that reflects how problems are actually solved in the real world. Within our technology suite, those are the courses that we offer. We have data-driven design for customer experience. We also offer human-computer interaction for AI system designs, product technology road mapping, managing software architecture, leveraging business data, advanced customer analytics, strategic and predictive insights. We work with learners in many different contexts. We work with professionals who are looking to upskill or to reskill. We also work with universities who wants to embed career-relevant content alongside degree programs, and we also work with organizations and governments that are seeking workforce-wide capability building, as we work with the private and the public sector. We also offer these courses as short as 6 hours for foundational knowledge and scaled upskilling, and up to more advanced courses that are 6 to 8 weeks for mid-senior managers or managers aspiring to become mid-senior managers. And all the way up to our bespoke programs that are designed for your organization's needs. We've also partnered with leading industry voices. All our courses are CPD approved from the relevant body, and this is an example of some of the bodies that we've got accreditation for our courses from. We work very closely with Cambridge academics and in our in-house learning design team to create courses that balance deep research with real-world application. Everything is built with professional impact in mind, from interactive content to assignments that are genuinely useful, just like risk assessments or strategy plans, those where learners can take straight into their roles. Now, understanding the impact of training is essential, not just during the course, but long after it ends. Through our platform and frameworks, just like LTEM, we can track everything from engagement to knowledge gain and how learners apply what they've learned in real-world scenarios. Most importantly, we look at longer-term behavioral change and how it drives value across teams and organizations. Upon completion, learners will receive 2 types of certificate, either a certificate of achievement or a certificate of completion, depends on the type of the assessment and the type of the course that they took. They will also receive an electronic badge that they can show within their personal profile. When we work in partnership, we think more about you and not just the course delivery, because we co-design the experiences. We align content with your internal priorities. We integrate with your systems where needed. And we also support everything from tutor training to impact evaluation. And this collaborative approach ensures that the program not only fits your learners, but it fits your strategy as well. And in order for it to fit your strategy, we know that every organization is different. And so your learning needs as well. That's why our pricing model is designed to be transparent, flexible, and scalable. For example, for group enrollments, we offer discounts and volume-based pricing. For enterprise clients, we also offer licensing models that allow scalable access across teams and geographies as well. And for organizations looking to build something more bespoke, we'll work closely with you to create a customized solution with pricing aligned with your goals, timelines, and complexity. We're also offering a discount for the attendees of this webinar. Now, I would like to hand over to Dr. Jasmin Jahić, who will elaborate on how managing software architecture can support your organization.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmin Jahić, and I'm the author of the course Managing Software Architecture. So just a brief introduction from my side. My background is in robotics and software engineering, and I have a lot of experience both in research and in industry. Before joining University of Cambridge, I worked as a project manager and a researcher at the Fraunhofer Institute for Experimental Software Engineering in Germany. My main research areas are architecture of software systems and embedded systems. And recently, I'm also working on predicting and understanding the role of artificial intelligence in software architecture. So in this slide, I would like to share the focus of this course. So it's important to understand where we position this course. So from one side, there are business goals and business challenges in organizations. From the other side, there are technical solutions, including software code and infrastructure, that enable execution of these business goals. And it is often a challenge to translate business goals into design of technical solutions and use that design to manage implementation of those solutions. And this exactly is the challenge that is the main focus of this course. So in the scope of this course, we work on techniques and approaches that help us to better understand and scope the problem domain. So that means what are the problems that we're aiming to solve, what are the functional requirements, quality requirements, and so on. And then we proceed with the approaches that help us to solve complex challenges, usually through decomposition, through the techniques that help us with decomposition into smaller problems. And in this process, we put a strong focus on the quality of software. So to summarize, as input, we take business goals, and as output, we produce architectural decisions to guide the implementation. Here are some of the typical challenges that this course can help solving. So some of them are, you probably might be familiar, onboarding new team members, so how to support onboarding of new team members, how to prioritize new features and decide what should be implemented first, how to make adequate architectural decisions with understanding of the risks that are associated with those decisions, and how to properly document those decisions to enable discussion about them and implementation. We also focus on this anticipating technical debt, and we do this by managing projects using architecture models. We use architecture models to also facilitate discussion between different stakeholders, different teams, and to enable the integration of the work that different teams perform. One of the big challenges here is, once we go through all of these things, is how to put everything into practice. And that's why we focus a lot on enabling continuous engineering and continuous architecture process to integrate all of these solutions. I think we should have a poll now. Yes. So this is a question for you. If you could indicate which challenges you face in your daily work, that would be quite interesting to see. Okay, so some of the results. I think the most popular one is comparing architectural decisions. Good that there is a big focus on this in the course, not only how to make adequate decisions, but also how to compare several decisions, considering their pros and cons and risks and the assumptions and so on. The next one, okay, I guess we can skip that, but that seems to be the most challenging, the biggest challenge that you have indicated. Okay, I guess we can go to the next slide. So how is this course organized? At the beginning of the course, you as course learners, you start by selecting a project on which you will be working throughout the course. This project can be your company project, which you can anonymize, or this can be something as an imaginary project that you decide to use as a setup in which you will be applying the concepts from this course. Also, within this project, you will select challenges that you want to solve. For example, enabling new team members to get faster into the project, or comparing, for example, architectural decisions. As we go through the course, you will be applying some of the course concepts in the context of your project that you have selected, and in the context of the challenges that you want to solve. At the end of the course, you will have a document, and that document details how you're planning to solve those challenges that you have selected. And this document is something that you can use on your day one in your company. So you start with the challenges, you go through the course, and you have a solution at the end that you can use on the day one in your company. Besides that, we aim to equip the learners with a set of the practices and methodologies to deal with the typical challenges in in software architecture, as we saw some of them on the previous slide. And there is a third thing which I would like to emphasize, is something that came out as a byproduct of this course. In every course instance so far, we had a really good interaction between all the learners, and we had a really good collaboration. So as an outcome of that interaction and the collaboration, people share their state of the practice tools, state of the practice approaches. So it is also a good way to get an overview of what are the current tools that are used, what are the current approaches, methodologies, and so on. So what is the current state of the practice when it comes to software architecture these days? Okay, so let us use this diagram to go through the course organization. As I have said at the beginning, you will select a project on which you will be working. Then there are 6 modules in this course. Each module has assigned module tasks. So you basically go through the content of a module, and then you apply that in the context of a assigned module task. For each of these assigned module tasks, there is a template to guide you how to complete your assigned module task. And there is an example to show you how a similar solution could look like. During the process during the course, you will have assigned reviewer who is basically your fellow learner. And whenever you submit your assigned module task, your reviewer will review what you have submitted. You will also be a reviewer for someone else. You basically have your reviewee, and every time your reviewee submits a assigned module task, you will be acting in a capacity of the reviewer. We use this approach to encourage people to try to recognize what are the challenges in other projects that they're facing, so they do not repeat the similar mistakes. Of course, we as academic leads also closely monitor your discussions and jump in whenever there is a need to do so. At the end of the course, you will have a final project assignment, and for this final project assignment, you can reuse any of the results that you have produced in your assigned module tasks. But the main purpose of this final project assignment is that you have a day one document that you can use in your company. For this final project assignment, you receive a detailed feedback, detailed review from the academic league and the tutors in this course. Okay, so a few words about how the course is organized. In module 1, we have a so-called introduction to software engineering, where we go through basic concepts in software engineering, making sure that everyone is on the same level of understanding, from basic concepts in programming to basic development methodologies to even some of the concepts that are dealing with the computing. Then we go into the second module, scope and benefits of software architecture, where we discuss the responsibilities of software architects and the challenges that are within the scope of software architecture. Here we also discuss problem domain and the solution domain. Then we go into module 3, where we discuss making architectural decisions, documenting architectural decisions, customized modeling profiles, architectural views, and so on. In module 4, we discuss some standard solutions for standard problems in software architecture. And here really the goal is to help you to improve the quality of your software architecture and your software projects, software solutions. Besides common examples of solutions such as styles, patterns, and tactics, we also discuss common anti-patterns, so what you should be avoiding, and also reference architectures that help you to gain knowledge about the domains with which you might not be familiar. Now, once we complete all of this, the challenge is how to put all of these concepts into practice. That's why we discuss development methodologies in the module 5. So how to organize your development process, how to organize your continuous engineering process, how to organize your continuous architecture. In module 6, we have a course conclusion, in a sense that we relate all the previous concepts, see how they fit together, and we also discuss briefly benefits and the cost analysis. So if you're about to implement any of these concepts in your daily work, what is going to be the cost and what is going to be the benefit that you gain from this. Regarding the assessment in the course, you will need a minimum of 70% to pass the course, and the final grade is composed by 40%, which is dedicated to participation, the related quizzes and so on, and the 60% goes to the final project assignment. Okay, so is this course right for you or your organization? Well, the course is created for professionals who operate as experienced software engineers, who operate as a technical project managers or the solution architects or DevOps engineers. So far, we have gathered statistics of the people who already took the course, and these are usually senior software engineers, solution and software architects, technical project managers, CI/CD and DevOps engineers, and testing engineers. When it comes to the benefits and that we are hoping to equip you with the skills that you're able to achieve at the end of this course really is aiming to empower the learners to have so-called strategic alignment in the organizations, or to lead the strategic alignment in the organizations. That means that it empowers teams and individuals to communicate and document their decisions in a way that is more clear and ensure that everyone works towards the same architecture and the business goals. It also equips the learners with the approaches that help to improve the quality of the software and consequentially the value of the software itself by discussing different solutions for scalability, maintainability, performance improvement, and so on and so on. We also discuss how to embrace new technologies such as AI. So we focus a lot on the innovation readiness. And we also bring some of the techniques that helps with the leadership capabilities. That means how to build architect level way of thinking across your team or across the organization to manage the complex projects. Okay. So yeah, basically as a consequence of that, what we usually observe is that those who take the course accelerate really this cross-functional alignment in their companies, that there is an immediate impact on the collaboration, especially with this document that the learners provide. And in general, that it builds not only individual capabilities, but also the organizational capabilities. Okay, so here might be a good idea to observe one of the testimonials from our previous course runs. So one of the previous participants, Gonzalo from LAMP company from Australia, who worked there as a software engineer, he said that the most valuable takeaway for me is the newfound confidence to advocate for the importance of clear documentation and sound architecture to non-technical stakeholders. So now I will pass on to Stuart, who will talk about the course learning environment.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jasmin. So, yeah, as Jasmin mentioned, we'll now take a moment to have a look at what the learning experience actually looks like and give you a little bit of an idea of when students are, and participants are on the page, how does this content actually come across? So we'll play a short video, which I'm going to kind of dub over in real time, just to give you a bit of a glimpse of what the learning management system looks like. So our courses sit within our learning management system called Canvas, and Canvas provides a really clear platform to navigate and engage with the content in order to create a really effective learning experience. And as you can see here, as participants go into the homepage, they're met with kind of a range of navigatable tiles, and these all correspond to the specific modules of the course. It might be, oh, there we go. So you can also navigate the modules via the module page. And each course also has a module 0, which gives learners loads of information about effectively the course, learning outcomes, and also an opportunity to talk amongst and network with other learners as well. So here's an actual course. And as learners go into that first page of the course, it will be met with a video by Jasmin, who will introduce some of the concept of the course. And then it'll also go over some of the learning outcomes and also provide some reflective opportunities for learners as well. The discussion forums set up the theme for the module, and they give participants the opportunity to reflect and share and comment on peers' ideas. Once again, really strengthening this idea of a cohort-based course. Then as learners actually go through the main content, you experience a wide range of modes and methods, and these are to kind of engage with the concepts. And these include sort of interactive elements alongside other kind of video formats, such as animations. There's kind of these interactive formative comprehension checks, and there's stylistic curated graphics and other engaging on-page elements that not only bring the course to life, but have been specifically designed to optimize how learners navigate through the course content and ensure the actual learning experience is both intuitive and exploratory as possible. Throughout the course as well, there are plenty of opportunities for reflection and application within the modules. So here we can see lots of the different kind of elements that are bespoke designed for the course. And so you'll get these very consistent graphics, various animations, various graphics, various kind of formative activities. And what it creates is a very kind of intuitive learning experience. And as you can see here, we work with an in-house UX team. Everything's effectively set up to make it very much kind of an exploratory process as learners kind of go through the content, but also various opportunities get to actually apply those principles with kind of inbuilt functionality for immediate feedback. But also we have kind of integrated in there opportunities for feedback from tutors and the academic course lead as well. Here we can see the quiz that we find on each of the modules, but also there's lots of opportunities for peer review. So as Jasmin mentioned, one of the large parts of this course is actually that not only are participants creating their own plan, but they're also getting the opportunity to review and work with others as they develop their plans throughout the course. And also with Canvas as well, a large part of what we're trying to do is build up this network. So learners can update their bios, they can update their pictures, provide links to either LinkedIn or other relevant kind of job links, provide a biography. And again, this is to make sure that learners come out of this not only utilizing the course and obviously Jasmin as the course lead as a source of information, but really kind of develop that network throughout the progress of the course. Excellent. So that's the learning experience. If you have any further questions about that, feel free to pop those in the Q&A because I'll be here at the end to help answer those. But I'll, for now, pass it over to Arwa.
Thanks, Stuart. And now, what are the next steps? So first of all, if you wish to book online, please scan the QR code and you'll be able to book online, whether you're booking for yourself or for other team members in your organization. I will leave a couple of seconds just for you to scan it. I would also love to connect with you if you have further questions or you'd like to discuss group discounts. On the screen, there's a link to book an appointment. This link will be shared in a follow-up email after the webinar, or you can just simply scan the QR code and book an appointment with me. You can also contact me via email. My email address is awa.dua-gunderson@cambridge.org. Course enrollments can be done online, where you can pay either by card or you can request a quotation. And our next course is set to start on the 21st of July, with future dates this year in October and in January 2026. Now, if you haven't already, please use the Q&A section to send your questions about the course and we will answer them live. All right, let's start with the questions. Okay, so we do have a question. Does this course cover C4, UML, CI/CD, and trade-off analysis? I think that's for you, Jasmin.
Right, so there are several questions in this question, so just start one by one. C4 set of architectural views, yes, we heavily cover C4 architectural views, and we even have some examples that are discussing the application of the C4. UML we mentioned, but do not focus on teaching UML. However, what we do is that we recommend creating customized modeling profiles based on the UML. CI/CD we do cover, and we discuss the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, in the context of the continuous architecture. So how to organize the full methodology for applying CI/CD with continuous architecture. And the trade-off analysis we definitely mention in the context of making architectural decisions, what are pros and cons, and how to approach making architectural decisions and comparing architectural decisions, with the big focus on the quality properties. So if you decide to optimize for one quality property, what are the negative effects on the others?
All right, brilliant. So another question, is this course suitable for students with little technical background?
So my recommendation here is the course is more suitable for industry professionals, depending on the study background. So I would say if someone has studied computer sciences, has some experience with software development, might profit from this course, but the course is more targeting industry professionals who are basically senior engineers, or who are technical project managers. Don't have to be software developers, who are technical project managers, so who are more oriented towards the business and the organization, but have some basic technical skills.
Right, brilliant. Another question, my main difficulty is organizing the solution development process, the steps prior to the coding phase, how to think strategically to achieve the objectives. Thank you.
Yes, basically, this is exactly what we cover in the course, so I will not go into the details. The course is exactly about this, about the strategic thinking in the context of software engineering, and not only to use it as a stage, but continuously use this strategic thinking throughout the project.
Brilliant, brilliant. Does this course cover the foundational knowledge of software architecture?
Yes.
All right, brilliant. And what technical applications does this course cover?
So when it comes to the technical applications, we throughout the course have a bunch of exercises where learners apply what they actually learn, from making architectural decisions to creating architectural models, scoping problem domain, scoping the methodologies for the development. That's from one side. When it comes to the tools and other technical solutions, we mentioned those that are relevant for supporting these processes.
Brilliant. And does this course explore strategic and tactical DDD?
Yes.
Brilliant. A question from Edward. What is the biggest change students see after completing the course? How will AI be leveraged in this course? My organization is very AI focused in our workflow.
Okay, so I will try to answer one by one. The biggest change that the students see after the course, I think most of them say that after the course they start thinking as an architect. So one example is during the course we had someone who was quite senior software developer, and we were discussing some of the actions that the software architect needs to do, and there's some tasks that the software architect needs to do. And then he said, oh, okay, but I never thought about these things. I was usually focused just on the coding. And then my question is, but what do you think, who should decide about this? And then the answer was, I don't know. Someone will usually tell me what to do and think about these things. So really that way of thinking as an architect is the biggest change that we see after the course. Some other people say that they have improved their documentation, others have improved their development process, or they would say that they have enough skills and the confidence now to go to the management and demand some change. In terms of the AI, this course is not focused on the AI, but it does mention AI in the context of software architecture. So especially in the module 6, we discussed the latest development on how AI can help in the context of software architecture. And this is something that is an active field of research for us, and we try to summarize the latest development here, the practices, the benefits, the drawbacks. So we do mention it in that context.
And do you also cover some design patterns?
Yes, we heavily cover design patterns that improve the quality of software.
Absolutely. The course content seems to be very aligned to the ISAQB Software Architecture Foundation Certificate. Is that international?
Intentional, I think that yes. We did not.
Sorry.
No problem. We did not. We did not intentionally align anything to this certificate. This is more so. Maybe to give a bit of a background of the course. After working for several years with industry in terms of trying to help them to improve their decision process, methodologies, communication, strategic thinking, improving the skills of the people working in the companies, we summarized the set of the topics that seems to be the most relevant and practical for the industry, but still have a strong theoretical background. And that's how we came up with this course.
Brilliant. So I think this is also a question maybe for Stuart. Are the 6 to 8 hours per week completed when the learner wishes? Or are these specific sessions or seminars that need to be attended?
Yeah, sure. So the course is basically designed to ensure that learners who are very, very busy and trying to fit this course content into their working hours can do so. So the 6 to 8 per week are asynchronous, which means that learners can do them whenever they need to. There is a live session each week, which is optional, but that is a really rich opportunity to have a chat with Jasmin as he goes through concepts within the course, and also opportunity to provide any kind of answers to additional questions. So the 6 to 8 weeks, or 6 to 8 hours, sorry, you can fit them in whenever you need to, but then there is that kind of 1 hour live session that's hosted per week. It's optional, but it's, as I said, a really good opportunity to go in and meet with the other course mates and also have that time with Jasmin.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thanks. One more question we have, to what extent is the course content applicable across different platforms and domains like mobile apps, backend systems, etc.?
Right, so we do not target a particular industry, but I can say that throughout the several instances, previous instances of the course, we had people coming from medical industry, embedded systems to mobile applications. So what we teach is applicable to all of these.
We have a long question. I'm an enterprise architect. I'm not a software developer, but I work with enterprises, helping them to align their businesses and technology at a high level and solving particular issues such as implementing governance, rationalizing applications, automating and optimizing workflows, and so on. Do you think this course would be relevant to me? If not,
yes, like I said, we're targeting two groups of stakeholders, of people who might be relevant for this course. One is senior software engineers and another one is technical managers. So anyone who is in the management position with a bit of the technical knowledge, who is leading the teams or doing the business to technical mapping, this is the course for you.
brilliant. And what kind of test do I need to take to pass the course?
So as I've said, the biggest part of the grade is related to completing the final project assignment. And this is completed at the end of the course. And then throughout the course, there are several quizzes and the small tasks where people get their points.
Brilliant. So a few questions, we've got several questions asking about the certificate, what type of certificate that the students would receive. They would receive a certificate of achievement, and they would also receive an electronic badge where they can show within their personal profiles. We got a question about today's session. Will you get a certificate of attendance or CPD for today's session? Unfortunately, no. However, our courses are CPD approved, including the MSA. It is a CPD approved course. Please share the slides. Yes, we will share the slides and we will share the recording. We will also share with you the link to book an appointment with me if you're interested in group discounts. We also got a few questions about the discounts or the scholarships. Yes, we do offer discounts for group bookings, and we also offer for individuals as well. So please feel free to contact me and I would be happy to guide you through the process. We can take one last question. In the final project expected to be fully completed within the 8-week duration, or would there be flexibility beyond that?
So I can answer this, and also maybe in the connection with one of the questions that said, is it manageable to follow this course while working full time? So during the course, you have the quizzes, the assignments, and so on. And I know it's challenging, but all of our participants in the previous courses were working full time. So sometimes it can happen that you cannot manage to complete your task in time. So we usually try to accommodate such requests. After the course is completed, so after 8 weeks, you have, I think, 2 weeks just to work on your final project assignment. So the final project assignment comes after the course. Now, that said, usually what happens is that, and so this is how the course is organized, that people create a bunch of results throughout 8 weeks of the course. Then they use those 2 weeks after the course to synthesize those results, filter them, write them up in a more polished way, and then create their final project assignment that they can use not only for the grade, but really day one in their company.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jasmin, and thank you all for joining today's session, and apologies if we haven't had time to answer your question today. As a reminder, there will be a short survey when you exit the webinar, which will give you the opportunity to ask a question if you haven't already. Please take a couple of moments to provide us with some feedback. Look out also for the follow-up email later this week, where we share the recording, the slides, and with some useful links that have been mentioned today. Thank you.